Hello, and what it is a great night. I want to welcome you to Whole Woman TV, where your host is only the one and only Marceline Williams. We have a dynamic guest for you tonight. And when I tell you the first time I actually met her, her spirit was so genuine, and most of all, she is a giving person. I want you all to sit back and relax because it's late night drips, which means we're going to talk about everything about the woman from the top to the bottom and everywhere in between because it is live with Whole Woman TV, your late night drip. Now, this dynamic woman is an empowerment advocate. She is an inspirational author. She has a dynamic song album that is just released. I want to say it was released about 2 weeks ago. We may get an opportunity to hear some of that today. And also, she wears many hats from poet to motivational speaker. She's a podcast host and she is a self love life coach. Her advocacy extends to raising awareness about domestic violence and chronic illness. Most of all, she amplifies the voice of those who often go unheard. She is called to you, men and women. I want you to salute. Put your hands together as they do in the military and welcome to the stage this dynamic woman of God as we go. Here we go. Let's go. Let's go.
Hello.
Welcome, lady. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
How are you today?
I am amazing. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. I know I say Monday motivation, Tuesday diamond gems, and Wednesday wealth. We're on Monday motivation. So why don't you tell us your name and tell us a little about your backstory and where you from, where you going, what you doing.
Absolutely. My name is Shana Gourdine, better known as the lady behind the mask. I'm originally from Cross, South Carolina. I live in Troy, New York. I'm an inspirator and an empowering speaker, author, and advocate because a lot of times, we have to fill people with that empowerment and that inspiration. My journey, well, it started off, simple growing up, but then you get into those rough patches and storms. And I actually took my pain and made it a purpose. And I used it to help empower and inspiring other people, regardless of what my situation that I may went through or that I actually are going through now.
Hey, that is great. And you say you're from Cross, South Carolina?
Absolutely.
How far is that maybe from Myrtle Beach or you
Oh,
know what
Myrtle,
Myrtle Beach is? I have family
yes.
in Myrtle Beach.
Myrtle Beach is about maybe 2 hours from me.
Oh,
Charleston was
okay.
about 30 minutes.
Okay. Okay. I know I went to Charleston. I've been to Myrtle Beach. I've been to Florence. I've been to
Hmm.
Columbia.
Columbia is about an hour.
Okay. Okay.
I was like
So,
in the lower country.
okay. 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 So, would you say that your time in South Carolina, did any of that time inspire you to start your writing or anything like that? Was it actually there or was it when you actually moved? Because where are you living now?
I stay in Troy, New York, but I
Troy,
was
New York.
writing since I was 12. So since I've been in high school or
Oh,
elementary school,
wow.
I've been writing poetry since I was 12 years old. And that was my way of, just talking because I was like really, really shy in school. I was like a bookworm. I did my work, I focused on school, didn't get in trouble. And that was just my way of expressing myself more in general. I wrote. And so I wrote poetry. I used to enter into poetry contests and stuff like that, enter into these magazine competition to get my poetry in them and stuff like that. So yeah, I've been writing since I've been 12.
Writing since you were 12 years old. That is dynamic. So, if you was writing then, and you say it was pretty much an outlet to you, right?
Yes.
Okay, okay. Did you have any siblings?
By my mother growing, I grew up in a house as an only child. But through
Okay.
my father, I had three other siblings.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I can understand that sometimes because like I'm the only child. When I say the only child where you have the same mother and father. So I have like seven sisters and brothers, but it's only me that has the same mother. One mother and one father, but everybody else has the same. So I
Got
say it like that. So I know growing up can be challenging when you don't have someone to really talk to, or you don't have that brother or sister that's right there with you that you want to just be able to communicate with and be
right.
intimate with as a brother or sister when you need to get something off of your chest. So poetry did it for you.
Yes, that was my
Okay.
outlet. That and basketball.
Basketball. I did basketball too. Would you tell me something while you were, so that was in middle school, right?
Yep.
That was in middle school. So
What, playing
while,
basketball or writing poetry?
okay, okay. And
Um,
basketball was in high
I,
school.
yeah, basketball was in high school.
Basketball was in high school. So what was you, point guard?
I was actually I was actually a shooting guard and a small forward.
Okay, okay, okay. So when do you think your life actually began to turn where you saw transformation coming, or you saw that you really had to take a stand and take a voice for yourself and for others?
It was back in 2017.
2017.
After
And
going through domestic violence.
domestic violence.
hmm
Wow. Was that one time with a particular person or was it several people?
Well, by 2017, it actually was my second toxic relationship. So it was like, okay, something I need to figure out. And it's like during going through this process, I also was finding out that I had health conditions. So it
Okay.
was like a lot of storm and turmoil you going on. So it's like, all right, what is going on and why?
Hmm. So the second relationship.
No, well, my first relationship when I was pregnant with my daughter also was toxic.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I know that word is used a lot now, toxic relationship. What are some of the signs you think that we as women need to look for, when we know that we're in a toxic relationship?
The isolation, the control, the insecurities, the calling out your name, just unhealthy things that we actually settled for or
Yeah.
maybe thought was cute and just like, ah, they didn't mean much by it.
Hmm.
You
Like
know,
you
it,
say,
it
you just settle on it.
it's a lot of red flags that we tend to not pay attention, and it be not just in, you know, boyfriend and girlfriend relationship. It's also in like your family relationship dynamics and sometimes your kids. Like it's so many different type of unhealthy relationships, friendships, that some stuff we tolerate and we need to find boundaries.
Hmm. Did you experience as a young adult or in your childhood, did you ever experience seeing people in the family or other people that may have not been of family going through domestic violence?
Yeah, I have.
You did.
hmm
Yeah. So I know a lot of times we as women will see that pattern and then you see, wonder why we take so much. But I think I just heard a gentleman say yesterday that we are so emotional. We are emotional as women. And like you said, you may think it's cute when it first
hmm
started off, but I say when the unhealthiness begins to take a toll on your mind and your body and your spirit, then you know that it's toxic and
Yeah,
it's time that you do something else. And especially if you go through that several times, you got to look at yourself too, to see why do I keep attracting, that particular person.
yeah.
So,
You start questioning your relationships, your friendships, and why you're allowing these things. And with my situation, after going through the second time, having two kids, and I have two daughters, I was not trying to have my daughters go down the same path that I went through. I wanted to break the generational curse. They needed a different vision,
Yeah.
because a lot of times as parents, we continue in these relationships or we stay, and it's unhealthy for your kids. And it's like, I, I didn't want to do that to my daughter. I wanted better for them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
And you wanted them to know that it's not okay.
right,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah,
That's
because
not what
sometimes
love
you
looks
have
like.
to. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I applaud you, for doing that. That, they want get to experience seeing that as a child coming up. And they're no, I didn't see that. And and if it was, my mom did not let us see that. So now we know how to really, really see and understand we're in a healthy relationship or if we're
Absolutely.
not.
Right.
So tell us, how did you feel? How did that make you feel once you actually stepped out of that? Were you fearful?
Well, when you first stepped out of it, it's like you have a lot of feelings. You go through a lot of different emotions. You go through anger, frustration, disappointed in yourself, like you question yourself, and all these different et ceteras. But once I went through going to therapy and taking my steps of writing as therapeutic and started speaking out my story, I felt relief. I
Mm,
felt peace. I felt happiness. I felt joy, because at that moment, I started building with myself through this journey. I learned how to love who I was and learned to set boundaries and not accept anything. I learned my worth. I learned what I deserve, not what people feel that I deserve.
that's
And I
good.
learned to internally love myself, not just from the outside. I learned myself and loved myself from the inside and didn't depend on anybody else to give it to me. Anybody else that I was dealing with or allowed to sit at my table, it was because I choose to, not that I settled for.
That's really good. That's really good. Choosing who sit at your table. That's your choice. That's really good. So, how did you come about with the evolution of the mass?
Oh, well, we have to go back to the first book, which was called The Mask Behind the Mask. And with that book,
The
it's a book
mass behind the
behind the
mass.
mask is the first book. And because with that journey of coming out of domestic violence and going through the walk of this purpose and turning your pain into it, you have to tell people that they got a mask on.
Mm,
Reality sets in like, hi, we're sitting in a mess. It was toxic, but now we have to accept it. So with the mask behind the mask, it was a book of poetry that allowed you to go through the feelings of loving who you are and crying through these methods and knowing what your power is, to accept that, yeah, I have a mask on, but how we gonna take it off?
how
You
you gonna
know,
take it off?
right. Understanding that, hey, we went through some things that you may feel that somebody may judge you about, or you might feel shame, but it's okay to say that you're not okay. It's okay not to put the makeup on to make it look pretty. And that's what the mask and behind the mask was about. On top of the fact is that I don't look like what I go through on a daily because of my conditions. That's another mask that people put on, and it's to show that regardless of the cards you're dealt, you don't have to face life with always putting on a mask. It's okay to be comfortable in your own skin with all the things that you're dealing with, but it's all about accepting who you are and being vulnerable about it.
That's good. That's
Then
good.
then we go into the second book, which is called Unveil the Broken Pieces of the Mask. Now I'm gonna have to teach people how to embrace that insecurity that you might have been dealing with, the baggage that you might have been carrying from your childhood, the not accepting who you was when you were younger, or the daddy issues or the mama issues that we may be carrying, all these things that we tend to carry from childhood to growth to grown up ages, the things we might not like about ourselves. And with that book, it helped. That's also poetry, but it helps you embrace. So it was stages of my growth that then got me to the evolution of the mask. And with the
Oh wow.
evolution of the mask, it's like now I've showed up unapologetically, authentically me. I am me and I am she, and I'm going to be who I am. And I love who I am. I'm showing up confident. I'm showing up peaceful. I'm showing up happy. And there's nobody that can take that joy away but me.
the mask behind the mask, the
Yes.
unveiling
The pieces
of
of
the
the mask.
mask,
Mm-hmm.
and then the evolution of the
Evolution
mask.
of the mask.
Now you know what? Okay, the mask behind the mask. When I think about the mask behind the mask, I'm thinking about, wait a minute. So you have a mask in front, and
Mm-hmm.
even when you pull that mask off, you still don't see your true self.
Yeah, because so many times we walk around in society, or we walk around just in the world in general, and we're dealing with the layers. And
Mm-hmm.
there's so many other layers behind the layer that people don't talk about, that they
Mm-hmm.
holding on to, and they might not even talk to themselves about because they not ready to face it. So
Mm-hmm.
until you take all the layers off, like peeling back that onion, and be ready to blossom through that trauma, through the ordeal, through that hurt, that pain, that disappointment, that grief, whatever you're holding on to, there's always another mask behind the mask, because you have to take the layers off and you have to deal with the layers accordingly.
That's
Because
good.
if you keep the layers on, you're never authentically, truly who you are. And in order to take those things off, you got to go through forgiveness. You got to seek what's truly rooted in you that have you broken. Because broken crayons can get put back together.
Right.
You just got to know how to get it back together to be able, they still color. So,
Mm-hmm.
in order to be able to still color again, you got to heal those pieces that you're holding on to. We got to learn to let go. We got to learn to forgive. We got to learn to find our happiness and not wait on other people to give it. You got to find your joy. You got to find your peace and what grounds you.
Wow. So with just those three books alone, how many awards and what are some of the awards you have actually received from those?
Ooh, well, we've gotten we've gotten actually several awards. I've won awards out of Nigeria for having like the best content and cover. I've gotten awards for being Woman of the Year, Woman on the Rise. We actually just was on a billboard in Elkin, Maryland for the top 10 national movers and shakers. So
Yes.
it's so much to go down the list. I've been awarded the Art and Cultural Award through the YWCA out here. Uh it's just the journey. And I can say not even just those awards, the real truly awards that I can say I am so grateful for is the individuals I get to heal and help mend them to be the best version of themselves, help them find the potential in themselves and find their purpose. Going to the shelters and talking to these families and empowering the kids at school is the best
Mm-hmm.
award I can get from all of these things that I do.
Mm-hmm. So let me see. This is the month of May. I
Yes,
think you're going to be in a few book festivals that's coming up, right?
I
So
am.
let the audience know where they'll be able to find you at in person if they want to actually get that book autographed.
Well, if you are in the state of upstate New York, I will be in Albany Book Festival at U Albany. Don't have the date yet. It's normally in September. If you are still in upstate New York, I will be at the Saratoga Book Festival, which is October 5th in Saratoga, New York.
All right. And then do you have any actual, I think you have an event that's coming up that you'll be speaking at soon, correct?
I actually just did it on Saturday. It was the Mother's Day tea. It was an amazing event. I got to speak to about 70 people and got to
Yes.
empower and fill their cup, as empowering them that they can be the best version of themselves, regardless on the people that might have told you that you're not going to be good enough, or that you're not worthy, or you're never going to be nothing. I was able to let them know that I would love to, be there, pour into them, tell them how, who they are, and to know that they are worthy and know that they're loved, and that, the powers within them. They have to seek the potential to be the best version of themselves. It take work, but we have to work in order to be the best version of ourselves and to turn our pain into purpose or to just walk in your purpose in general.
That's good. That's good. We're going to take a quick commercial. And when we come back, we're going to talk about your new anthology. Be right back. Thank you today for watching Whole Woman TV Late Night Drips. It is our passion to see over 100 people share and heal by writing and publishing their stories, leaving the scars behind at Prayer Garden of Memphis at gmail.com. We are looking for 80 more people, that's men and women, that are ready to come forward and share their story. Right where you can heal. Make sure that you know that the pen can start your journey to healing. All right. So, Shauna, tell us about your new anthology that you have. You are looking for, you only have a few spaces left, right?
No, it's actually still open. Spaces
Okay.
are still, I have actually 10 people already. And if there's more to come, there's more to want to talk about, I'm here for it. So my anthology is called Turning Your Pain into Purpose. And it's basically for people that has been through whatever your pain might have been. It could have been hurt, it could have been grief, it could have been a loss, it could have been, depression, it could have been domestic violence. It could be whatever you feel your pain may have been and you turned it into a purpose. It's about you being resilient, prevailing through your mission. It's about you taking what you went through and be able to help somebody else through their testimony.
Right.
And I am here looking for authors to come and tell their story. Come and tell your testimony. If you have a message, my book, my project is here for you to extend your story. Tell the world about what you've been through and what you're doing with it now. Because every pain, why not turn them scars into a beautiful butterfly?
That's good. That's good. Now you know I'm excited. I'm so excited because when I heard the music from your new album, I'm telling you, I thought I was in New York. Look, I was ready. I just the look, my son is into what they call it, the I guess the beats and everything, the
Mm-hmm.
creativity with the beats
Right.
and everything. I was like, I like that beat. So tell us about your new album.
Yes, the album is called From Trauma to Triumph, Embracing Your Royalty. I released it May 3rd. You were right, about 2 weeks ago. And the thing
Yep.
about it is that album was also compared to just like the evolution in the mass. Because my first album was called I was always a rose in the darkness of love, which that came out right after the mask behind the mask. And it's about, now showing up and embracing the royalties. I came from that trauma and I became triumphant with it because 5 years later, after showing up and using my voice, I am now here impacting people from speaking, life coaching, my authorship, teaching people how to write, doing workshops, facilitating different or community events because I do like 2 annual events during the year. And with Sheena Master Motivation, we are embracing that royalty. We're here to give you the message through words and like my song Enough, the words is about you being enough, knowing that
Yes.
you are enough, you are
Yes.
enough, you are enough. And for you to know it, I got to tell you that because some people don't hear it. So I give that word, I am enough, because I need people to hear that they are enough to be who they are. They are enough to love who they are. They are worthy to be victory and victorious through anything they may be going through. I need the children to know that, hey, I might have this environment that I don't like I'm in, but you're victorious and you're enough to be the president of the United States. You're enough to be the mayor. You're enough to be a lawyer. And if I don't give it and pour it into these people, Hey, I gotta be the messenger. My other song, basically is Only One Me. That is about knowing that it's only one you. You were made authentically for your purpose. Whatever door it is, it's for you. Whatever business that's supposed to be, it's for you. Who's connected to your testimony, it's for you. And it's only one you, and that you should love you for who you are. Cause in my thing, it says it's only one me. I love me, and you should love me too.
Hmm.
Cause it's telling you, I love you, so love yourself too. And then the other track that's on this called Heartbeat. And it's basically, you gotta listen to your heartbeat. Sometimes your heart hurts and it aches, and then we tend to bleed onto other people. But what we need to do is take the time out to heal your heart. Listen to your heart, because somebody else is attached to their heartbeat. If you got a child, that's what they lay on and listen to. That's what they hear when they're in your stomach. When you're birthing something, you're birthing it out your heart.
Yes,
So listen to your heart. So
that's good. That's good. So, if someone said, "Who is pronounce your last name?"
good time.
Gourdine.
Mhm.
If someone said, "Who is Gourdine?" What would you say?
I would say I am dope, dedicated to other people empowerment. I am healed, helping to empower amazing lives. I'm the one that's here to advocate you, empower you, motivate you, and help you walk through those doors to your purpose. I'm here to give you that voice and tell you that your words mean power. I'm here to help you know and understand that you can be the best version of yourself if you don't see yourself right now to be in your best space. But know that you were made for something great.
So good, so good, so good. Is it anything else you would like to share with the audience on tonight?
With the audience, I want them to know that everybody is made for a purpose and that you are dope. You're dope. If you don't think you're dope, I think you're dope. If you're
Now
not
wait a
proud of
minute.
yourself,
Wait a minute. I know you saying dope. Let's clarify. Because
okay,
we may have some that are a little seasoned more than us.
okay.
So
So,
let's clarify dope.
let dope means basically you're great. You are phenomenal. You are extraordinary and resilient. I use that word dope because the acronym for it is dedicated to other people empowerment for me. You know, if I want to go to a word, you're amazing and phenomenal. Like you're made for a purpose. You was birthed here for that reason. And in order to walk in it, you gotta understand yourself first. Cause you can't help nobody if you don't help yourself first.
That's
So
the
my
main one right there.
that's the main one right there. Because in order to thrive, you gotta be ready to survive.
That's good. That's good. And tell them how they can get in touch with you. What's your contact information?
Absolutely. So if you want to contact me, I have a website which is www.sheenaunmastingmotivation.com. You can find me at my email, SGOURDINE@16 at gmail.com. If you want to find me on my social medias, following me, following my content, say hi. It's Sheena Gourdine on Facebook. It's Lady Behind the Mask 22 on IG. It's Sheena Arthur 22 on TikTok. On Twitter, it's the Lady Behind the Mask, and my YouTube is the Lady Behind the Mask as well.
I want to thank you for being a special guest on today for Whole Woman TV Late Night Drip. It's where we talk about everything about the woman from the top to the bottom and everywhere in between, making sure that you are healing through your transformation. I want to thank you again, and I look forward to seeing you at another time, hopefully very soon. Thank you for being our special guest. Good night.